Liverpool 2, Arsenal 2. Well, that didn't go to script, did it? Not really. But anyway, the champions of England remain only 15 points clear at the top of the league. Could be worse, couldn't it? We did throw away a 2-goal lead at half-time, but it's okay. We'll just have to deal with the fact that we had a disappointing draw when we've already won the league weeks ago. Gotta be honest, I was a bit disappointed because I really wanted us to take Arsenal to the cleaners today. I wanted to send Arteta and Raheem Sterling home with no points to make them even more nervous about their Champions League qualification. But we did see Raheem Sterling give us a guard of honour, so I'll take that. And of course, the one big talking point of the game, which I'll get into in a little bit, is Trent being brought on for Conor Bradley. But anyway, let's get into the game. First half, it was Virgil van Dijk's 300th Premier League game. Cody Gakpo had scored in 9 successive Anfield starts, so he was trying to make it 10 out of 10. And Arsenal haven't won a game at Anfield since 2012. At the same time, Arsenal are unbeaten against Liverpool in the last 5 games that we've played. And it could have actually started really badly because Arsenal, who I would really struggle as an Arsenal fan watching this team. They're flopping on the ground, continuously trying to disrupt the game to win themselves free kicks. They put more emphasis on that than they do about trying to score open play goals. And he did it again today. And it started off, they get a foul, they do that synchronised swimming routine that they do. And to be honest, Liverpool were completely bamboozled by it. 10 players ran that way, and Saka ran that way. And he was all on his own, 7 yards out, and he put it wide. We should have been 1-0 down. And then a few minutes after that, Curtis Jones, I don't know what he's trying to do. He tries to dribble out of his own box. He actually loses the ball with 3 Arsenal players around him, and somehow they manage to make a bollocks of it and they don't score. So it started off thinking, oh dear, we're already seeing the complacency. Another thing I'll get into in a little bit. But to be honest, after that, we had a game plan that looked like it was working exceptionally well. We were actually letting Overplay FC overplay, and we were picking them off. And it wasn't like picking them off on the edge of our own box. We were picking them off in various parts of the pitch and breaking forward at speed. It ended up with Luis Diaz, cracking move. Luis Diaz had the great shot and it was saved by Raya's toe and went behind for the corner. But we were doing it continually. Gakpo had 2 in a row where he was bombing down the wing, and one of them he should have given to Salah. It was an inevitable goal if he had, but he didn't, and he made the wrong decision. He did the same again just a few minutes later, made the wrong decision after an absolutely brilliant ball from Andy Robertson, but then instantly another superb cross in from Andy Robertson, and Gakpo bulleted it home. And it was no less than we deserved, because after that rocky start, we started taking control of the game, not in terms of possession, but in terms of tactics and in terms of how we were hitting Arsenal. Almost immediately, a brilliant move down the right. One of those world-class Mo Salah passes to Szoboszlai, who was technically brilliant to bring the ball under his control and knock it across for Diaz to put it in. Someone asked me on one of my videos yesterday, do you really think Szoboszlai is technical? Well, take a look at that second goal if you think that he might not be. So it's 2-0 and it's party time at Anfield. Arsenal are bamboozled. For the rest of the half, they looked at a loss and we looked like we could add to the scoreline, picking them off at will. The half ended with us with 4 shots on target to Arsenal's 0. And we only had 38% possession. I mean, how often do you see that at Anfield? But I think it was a clear indication of how the team had set up to deal with Overplay FC. So on to the second half. Didn't mention it, but privately I was thinking, surely we won't get complacent. And guess what happened? Right from the very first whistle of the second half, we were on the beach. It was bad. I mean, there's complacence and then there's that. We were just sat back and allowed Arsenal to just come at us, and it was inevitable what was going to happen. Conor Bradley had a a bit of a mad 5 minutes. First time he got skipped past. Then, I think, not wanting to be skipped past again, he stood off. Trossard could have actually got out a golf tee, put it on the golf tee, walked backwards and curled it in to a completely unmarked Martinelli, the left winger. So, although Bradley was guilty of standing off, the marking from Konate and Virgil was shocking. They were like, both of them were 5 yards away from him, and he just nodded it past Alisson. Absolute complacency. There's no other explanation for it. So, are we going to kick on at 2-1? Nope. Nope, we didn't. We continued to be bossed by Arsenal, and I'm thinking, this has only got one outcome. They're going to score again. And then, the big talking point of the game is at 2-1, and right after Conor Bradley had just made an absolutely brilliant goal-saving interception from Martinelli. He comes off and a few other players come off, but I'm not even going to go through all the subs that came on and off because the only one that mattered was Trent being brought on for Conor Bradley on 65 minutes. And, oh God. Now, I've made my position on Trent leaving very clear. I have no problem with him leaving. I do have a problem with how he left. And I've said that to anyone who's asked me or anyone who's listened. He shouldn't have done what he did. He shouldn't have ran his contract down. And he should have left with a bit more grace than he did. But, I have not ever, nor will I ever, boo a Liverpool player in the red shirt playing for Liverpool in any game. Can't condone that at all. And it wasn't just one or two random people who then got drowned out by the rest. It was a large percentage of that crowd that booed him. I totally understand that we're angry with him. I'm angry with him. Totally understand everyone's feelings. I'm not ever going to tell anyone how to feel about it. It's up to you how you feel about it. Some people are fine with him leaving and wishing him well. Others are not. There's both ends of the spectrum. But you don't boo him. You don't boo him. Just don't do anything. You don't have to clap him. You don't have to applaud him. Just don't boo him. It's not what we do. Well, I suppose it is after today. But it's not what I thought we would do. Personally, I don't think he should have come on. Not for any childish reason like, well, he's leaving us, don't bring him on. Just, there was no point in bringing him on. He's leaving. He's gone. So the only way I would bring him on is if Conor Bradley got injured or we needed to save the game. Because we're winning the game when he comes on. So there was no obvious reason for him to bring him on, and he didn't need to do it. That will live with Trent now for a long time. And there'll be people watching this going, well, serves him right. Anyway, I've gone on about it enough. I don't condone it. Everyone is entitled to do what they want. And to be honest, I got quite a bit of grief on my video saying I wasn't happy with the way he left. People saying you should appreciate what he gave us. I do appreciate what he gave us, but I'm not happy with how he left. I'm never going to be happy with how he left. I'm not going to change that opinion. Then, of course, Sod's Law, Murphy's Law, whatever you want to call it. What happens? Odegaard whacks a ball from 25 yards. Alisson saves it. It hits the post, and it comes out perfectly to Moreno, who's around about the penalty spot, and he nods it past stranded Alisson. He looked miles offside. First time I saw it, I thought, that's got to be offside. But he wasn't. And why wasn't he offside? Because of Trent's left leg. Am I going to hold that against Trent? No, of course not. It was a matter of inches, and it was just Murphy or Sod, or whoever he is, taking the piss. Although, I'm still not going to blame him for the goal, but I will say, when that shot was taken, who was Moreno's marker? It was Trent, and he let him go. And it's 2-2. But rather than go on about anything else about Trent or the game in general, I just want to focus on the complacency thing for just a minute, because I've said this many, many, many times. It's been a long-standing problem at Liverpool when we are either playing a lower level team or we are fully in the ascendancy of a game, and it needs to be knocked out of the culture, because this has gone across several managers and a couple of generations of players, this complacency thing. And it is a Liverpool thing, I think. I don't see other teams getting in the ascendancy like we do. I'm talking about high quality teams, top teams, and then standing off to the point where you're getting bossed, not by a team like Arsenal today, but getting bossed by teams like Leicester and Ipswich and Southampton, because the game is seemingly too easy for you. And that's what we were guilty of today. Not more, not less. Utter complacency. And to drive home that point, Arsenal, in the last 17 seasons, when they've been trailing 2-0 at half-time, this is their record. Played 31, won none, lost 28, drawn 3. Liverpool's record in the whole Premier League era, when winning by 2 goals at half-time at Anfield, played 120, won 118, drawn 2. So now we've played 121 and drawn 3. But that just shows you, Arsenal never come back from a 2-0 deficit at half-time. Liverpool win 99.9% of the games when 2-0 up at Anfield. And yet we threw it away through complacency. There was still time at the end for Trent to curl one over the bar from a free kick. I wonder what would have happened if that had gone in. And then for Liverpool to score a last-minute winner, only for it to be disallowed for the type of foul that you see in every game from every corner 10 times a game. But this one was given. And VAR didn't overrule it, because guess who the VAR was? Paul Tierney. Yeah, him. So we could have snatched it at the end. Thought we had. I was a bit bummed out it was ruled out. Andy Robbo would have been a nice way to cap his season by scoring in the last minute, but it wasn't to be. I was going to do shout-outs, but no one particularly covered themselves in glory, so I'm going to limit it to just 2. And that was Gakpo for scoring in his 10th consecutive Anfield start. Brilliant record, that is. And Luis Diaz for being the other goal scorer, and both of them adding to their excellent goal scoring record this season. I think it's gone under the radar because of what Mo Salah has done, but those two have added another 30-something between them. So kudos to them. And you know what? I'm going to give a shout out to everybody. They all won it together. The reason that they drew that game is because we're already the champions. So what the hell? But in the end, it doesn't change anything. We've won the league. We're still 15 points clear. We've got 2 games to go. We're the best team in England. I think we're the best team in Europe. And we're still the greatest club on the planet. Bar none. The future is as bright as I've seen it for a long time. And I think we're going to go on to bigger and better things as the Arne Slot era continues. I'll see you in Liverpool in 2 weeks for the parade. You'll never walk alone.